So I just wanted to send a quick little update with Miss Stella. Like I said in the email, it's not anything really very exciting right now. I'm just trying to get some fundamental stuff down with her. So we've been working on loading markers, so the word good, the word yes, the word okay, and the word no. I want her to kind of understand what those mean before we really get into actual commands. So the word good is something that I say to her when she does something that I like and I want her to continue to do that behavior. So we're just starting with that one now. The word yes has really been the main one I've been using. Also the clicker, which I left next door, so I don't have it to demonstrate. It's just a little thing that clicks. Every time she hears these cues or sounds, I offer food. So that way, through repetition, they're going to, when she hears these sounds, these cues, these markers, they announce the arrival of food. So then at some point they're going to take on the good feeling of the food when they hear them. So that way I can use them to shape the wanted behavior. So again, good means I want her to remain in behavior. So I'm going to build duration with that. I'll put her into a behavior, good, treat, good, treat, until I'm ready for her to come out. Okay is gonna be our release word, meaning that the command is over, she can come out of behavior. Right now I am feeding her when she hears the word okay, meaning she can come to me for reinforcement. But eventually that's going to be more of just a neutral release, meaning she's done with behavior, she can come out of it. Yes is going to be that one where she does something that I really like, and this is the one I'm mainly using right now to shape and build enthusiasm in behavior, so I can do some quick reps. Yes, come get the food from me, so that that means that she is done with the behavior, she can come out of it, come get reinforcement from me. Same thing with the clicker, I use them the exact same way. The reason that I do like the clicker is just because I like the consistency of the tone. If I don't like something, if I really like something, if I'm frustrated, whatever, doesn't matter, it always sounds the same with the clicker. So that is something else that really builds a little bit of enthusiasm. For her, and then the word no is going to be something that I use just to kind of interrupt something. So every time she does something that I don't like, I will say the word no and then kind of help her fix it with a leash or whatever. So I haven't really done that one too much because I want to make sure that she actually understands what I'm asking before I punish anything yet. So punish is punish in the term of dog training, not punish how people perceive it. So punish just means to discontinue behavior. So she is not a very confident dog. Totally normal with these little guys. I think when we have little dogs, we tend to kind of, I don't want to use the word cuddle because that seems like a negative word. I don't mean it in a bad way. I just mean, we hold them a lot. We don't really expose them to a lot of things. Just naturally, because they're smaller, we want to protect them. They're little tiny. She's a little tiny bean. So I really just want to get her out. I want her moving away from me. So I'm going to do a lot with this place command where I'm sending her away from me to her place. There's little, see if this can follow me. There's little things for her to climb over, different textures, different types of surfaces at different heights. I want to build her confidence so that she's not so clingy to us, because I think that a little bit of her anxieties come from her just wanting to always be around us and want to be, protected and things like that. I want to show her through success of her completing really small tasks that those are fun and exciting things to do, so that she can be a little bit braver version of herself. So she's a really, really nice dog. She's super sweet, super friendly, very social. I just want her to come out of her shell a little bit, so I'm going to help her do that. Don't eat my leash. Nope. I do want to give her a sense of accountability. That is somewhere it seems that she's lacking again, because these little dogs, we don't really notice their peeves, because if that's the word I want to use, we don't really notice their faults. I'm not trying to insult her at all. Because they're tiny, they're not as noticeable as my large dog doing something the exact same behavior. That's very much so on my radar because she's so big. These little ones, unless it's barking or using the bathroom in the house, a lot of those things really just go undetected. So I want to start holding her accountable for things, helping her follow through with behaviors that I'm teaching her, and just helping her understand that she has to do those things no matter what all within fairness. I'm not going to ask her to do things that are completely out of her bracket of being able to do so. With the crate, I've been doing a lot of just letting her follow my hand in, throwing some treats in, letting her hang out there with the doors open, letting her not feel so restricted by the crate. And then balancing that with when I do close the doors, if she has her outbursts of the Borkies, I will use the clicker to mark silence. If the first couple of days it was just a brief pause and barking, I would mark that. And now it's a little bit more of I'm waiting for her to have like a couple seconds or a little bit longer amount of time before I mark and reward that. So I'm just building up that duration of silence. And then another balancing aspect is just kind of letting her bark it out. I think that's very important. She's learned that the yelling is something that, because most people don't want to deal with that. I don't know what your living situation is like, but if it's an apartment, you're very self-conscious of a dog barking and disturbing the neighbors. So here, I don't care what anyone thinks. So I'll let her bark a little bit. And I've set up recordings to see, like how long it lasts. The first day was a couple minutes. Now it's, I will use, so the way this room is set up, I'm sure you can't really tell obviously, but it's a square and then there's a door on this side and a door on that side and it loops around so they connect. It's just in a big building. So what I'll do is I will leave on one side and she's screaming. She starts to bark as soon as I'm out of sight. Ma'am, what are you doing? And then I'm just walking around the building and I can still hear when she stops barking. When she stops barking, I come into the other room, through the other door, and even then when I come in, I ignore her. I don't give her attention. I'm not gonna build anticipation of my return. I want all of those things to be very neutral, but at the same time, the only thing that is bringing me back into the picture is silence. So she's found value in barking and being loud when she's upset and doesn't want to be left alone. So that's why she does that. So I'm showing her that that doesn't do anything. Barking and yelling doesn't matter. Right now, I think that's a very critical thing for her to learn is that screaming and barking doesn't let her come out. Later in life, as she gets older, that's something that we can respect of. She might have to use the bathroom or like her stomach's upset or whatever. Like if I hear mine, I have to leave. If I hear mine downstairs freaking out, I know it's because something's wrong. So at that point, I'm not going to be like, oh, just wait it out because I know that there's probably something wrong. It is important that she has everything fulfilled before I set that up. So she's gone outside to use the bathroom, she's gotten water, she eats throughout the day, so she's okay there. She's had some playtime. I usually will do some obedience first to kind of get her mental stimulation going so she's not like in an aroused state. And then I put her in kennel. I know she has everything that she needs. So her being upset and barking is just a result of her not wanting to be in there. And tough cookie. So I know like we want to deal with the confidence portion of it, of her being upset that she's alone, which is why I'm doing all the confidence stuff. But she has, for her safety, she has to learn that if she needs to be in a confined space, she just has to be in there. So if she has to go to the vet for something, they keep dogs in kennels. If you have to travel, if she's eating things around the house, all of those are opportunities where her best interest is being in a kennel. So again, holding her accountable, we need to make sure that she understands that kennel time is you go in your kennel and you hang out and you chill. It's not a big deal. As long as we're balancing those things. We're not locking her away all day and then bring her, when we come home, we let her out for a minute or two and then put her back in there. That's not fair. We have to balance that quiet time in her kennel with enrichment and fulfillment and letting her have her outings and her outlet of energy. If she's full of energy, you put her in her kennel, obviously that's going to be very conflicting for her to want to do. Right, girl? I got your back. Starting to name her behaviors, putting commands on them. That's something that I hold off for a couple of days. I want to make sure that she is pretty consistently showing me what I'm looking for before I label it, and just to avoid a disassociation. I don't want her to think that a completely different picture is the word that I'm trying to put to the behavior, if that makes sense. So like if I'm asking her to sit and she goes kind of half into a sit and I say sit and then she pops back up, I don't want her to think that that is the ultimate behavior. I want her to understand that sit means little tushy is on the floor, and so forth. So I'm not going to share her commands just yet, because when I do that, when I've done that in the past, all of you guys start to do it at home, and then the way that everything is set up here is constant reinforcement schedule. Every time she does something that I like, I'm rewarding it. This jacket is not just a fashion statement, it has food all in it, so I'm fully prepared to do all of that. At home, you know, that's not always the opportunity. So I want to make sure that I'm setting up right now where she's getting reinforced for every single thing, because later I'm going to start offering a variable schedule to where it kind of motivates her to try harder. She's used to getting something for everything. I don't want to keep doing that, because then it becomes taken for granted. So I want to at some point be able to, when she doesn't do something, kind of didn't really try very hard with that, I'm gonna withhold food. And I want her to wonder why she didn't get that, because in the past it's always happened. So that little bit of frustration is gonna be what motivates her to try harder. So I'm gonna use that in my advantage. So I'm not gonna give you the commands just yet. I will, obviously. But that's just something that I'm gonna hold captive until I'm ready for her to be ready to share that with you. Right, girl? Yeah. All right, so enjoy this video. She's doing really well. Sweet girl. I don't have any problems with her, except for eating my leash. Hey, thank you, good girl, yes. Yeah, she saw that.